Libra. I was debating on whether or not to continue with this because it's such a big spread in terms with even just like what's being talked about. It's heavy. Well, it's not just heavy either. It's just a lot. But that death card being dead center is, and we'll get more out of this, right? The death card being dead center is, I think, interesting, to say the least, with especially the fact that Pluto is finally shifting into Aquarius, a fellow air sign. Depending on where Aquarius is in your chart, that will be even more significant on what it is aspected to. So, and then also wherever Pluto is. For those of you going through this total change and the shift in your mind, it's that waiting time of realization after realization. What it promises, and what I've noticed in my own life, is that that's the structure that it can promise. You may find that where you're headed and what it is that you're looking to build. Sorry, I'm just drinking some water. Is really important. I'm using this at the bottom of the deck to find more stability here. So you may need to go through if you choose to, you may need to go through and prioritize your mental health more than anything. Most of us, that includes emotional and physical health as well. Because it's not only because you need it and you're going to have a lot to do in the course and the direction of what is happening, but even since the Cancer full moon right after Christmas, if you celebrate on the 26th, it may have, that moment may have even brought to your attention okay, this is what you're working with, and this is the emotional depth that you're working with what you're realizing about what this looks like, how to get there, right? You may be restarting in a certain area of your life, possibly that Aquarian area of your life, even Uranus. I think the biggest surprise to you is that this process is sobering from any other, and that's the best word I can use because it makes sense. It's you're detoxing some shit. Not just some shit. It's almost like you're detoxing in your mind, and what reveals from that, the beauty of it, of course. But then we'll backtrack. The beauty of it is that a lot of fruit comes from this. The other side of it is that you are so aware of what you weren't before. What you weren't in terms of how you may have been treated, maybe since a young age, and how that persisted in your life, which is a very clear and accurate example. Because what this does, and here we have it at the bottom of the deck. Because what this is it's showing that, first of all, the cards are being very fucking honest with you, very clear with you, reading you. Is that wherever you've received crumbs, you're now no longer, yes, it's affecting you, but you're no longer consciously allowing it. You're finally at a point in this moment of your life where these eclipses are really benefiting you for this time, because it's bringing you back and showing you the part of yourself that may have been, I don't know, missing for a very long time. You may even feel this familiar sense come back to you. I don't know, I have lately. But it's not in a nostalgic way, in the sense that I'm missing a time. It's just I feel like you may feel like you've unlocked a part of you, or you're unlocking this part of you that is both from who you used to be and who you are now. And it's almost like you're not having to be one way or the other. You know, you can actually walk in and with both of these very specific ways. And that may have to do with you carrying yourself, of course, you being yourself in a way in which you are, you know, strong and determined and thoughtful and caring and generous, while at the same time recognizing that what's really happening is, going back to that sobering, I'm actually glad this came out too. You are this big change within the mind, and it could have been about also, yeah, that figure in your life who either showed or didn't show you enough attention or love in this way. And of course you're doing it, or you're realizing like it's up to you to do it for yourself and you to speak up for yourself. And we have another 6 here, so we're just going to play rummy at this point. What this is making you realize is that you have kind of just been sitting on something and watching something and hoping that it's gonna grow. And now you realize that a part of this growth has to do with giving more and paying more and being more generous to the confidence. You can't just watch it grow. You have to interact with your life as well, if you're not. And the way through this transformation is to give yourself all of the words, all of the necessary needings, the necessary ingredients for this next phase of your life. You know, you can always set yourself up for failure, right? Or you can self-sabotage and all of a sudden you're just right back at square one. Or you can really set yourself up for a change where this comes with being even more confident in what you value. And those have possibly changed too, but it just clicked. You know, you might be very, very passionate at first too, because something has just clicked with you. And you may also feel a sudden change in pace. Like you felt like things may have been moving slow, because this is clarifying that Knight of Pentacles. And because you've spoken not literally, but literally to your emotional side, right? You've revealed, everything has been revealed underneath the superficial layer throughout this month. And remember that this is also kind of a prefix for the year. A preface, not a prefix. Oh my God, a preface. Mercury has gone direct. No excuses. Today, the change is not only felt, it's seen. And if that feels shaky or uncomfortable, you just have to remember to remind yourself what you need to hear, what you've always needed to hear, and to really listen. Because truthfully, if you don't listen to yourself, then who else is? And people are really listening right now, whether you like it or not. For some odd reason, certain things are shifting where you will see that it's okay to remain in control of yourself and focused, while also being patient for whatever it is that you're needing to release at this time. It may not be brought onto you in the right way, quote unquote, maybe in the kindest way. Someone might say something and your reaction is almost like you feel it, like this is the end of, or you feel this solidifying, the solidity in the change that is happening and has been occurring within you. You're almost seeing yourself become new right in front of your eyes. And not just your own. Not that people are literally watching you, but if you have a presence, people will, be seeing this. This is also about you finally standing up for yourself, standing for yourself, speaking on your own, in your own way, in a very independent of any other person, any other thing in this life, which is also going to transmute emotion as well, because you're giving yourself what you need. This is its own story here. And all of a sudden you feel confident enough because you've received that message, because you've maybe even understood this lesson is finally clicking within you. And 10 to 10. And then we have the Temperance clarifying the Empress. It's a time where that shadow, you see the shadow side of yourself, that darker side of yourself, that side of yourself that hasn't been seen much by others or noticed by others is now being seen, and there's a revealing side to this month. Intimately, publicly, doesn't matter, that you see how more than ever things can change like right before your eyes almost. And all this change into Capricorn, a fellow cardinal sign, is just connecting the dots for you almost. The shift in luck is about freedom from within right now. It's about nurturing that freedom and that sense of self. Knowing that as you alchemize and process, that you remain grateful for this reflection period, if you so choose give yourself. You may need a lot of time alone this month and heading into the year in a different way. Not that you won't be seeing your people, but there's something about that giving energy, that kind of energy to yourself. It's what brings upon all of this change in a way that you really need and require. And if you can really find out, and if you can go through it this month in the beginning of the year, right? If you can, the fiscal year, especially if you're talking about money, and you see your strengths and weaknesses for what they are, and you see yourself for who you are right now and how you've become this person, and giving yourself this acceptance and trusting this way forward and through, that this change within yourself is very different than who you've been forever. This is about finding that connection and not severing it, right? That deepening between the heart and the mind, so that the scales and even the dramatics of it all, it still feels okay. It's very Capricorn-like. It's still okay. It's always going to be okay. Like, we are going to go through this step by step, very Saturn-like. But there will be some tension. There'll be feelings. There'll be reminders to yourself along the way. Mental processing, which probably leads to some creative success, group success in some way, or just your own success, period. And what it can feel like, and what it can look like, and what it already does feel and look like. How bringing all this and severing all these ties and bringing all that power and energy back to yourself and filling these holes, almost these energetic holes within that part of yourself that didn't know at whatever time and whatever age, and reconnecting that to who you are now, how that helps alchemize and heal what's to come next, and even in your own present life, how you can even feel and sense the change in your present life. You know, I've been thinking about baking a lot, and it's so interesting because there's a lot of preparation for this thing, but it becomes such a moment. You wait and you process And it's been said that many times, like, that love is the ultimate ingredient for food, and I think that's true. So this ingredient to yourself and showing yourself love in ways in which and that weren't shown to you, or that feel new or not comfortable. And not letting others access to that so easily either. That's the switch of it all. That's the hardest, probably the harder part of everything else, is being really not just like teetering on it, but being really clear about that right now, and then notice what that looks like. Notice what grows and what dies almost right away, very quickly. Also, Mercury has been gone direct in Sagittarius, so you may have a lot of revelations and expanding thoughts. Jupiter in Taurus also went direct and is aspecting you in some way, shape, or form, depending on where your Libra placement is, which this can allow expansion for many, and you may feel lucky and opportunities feel easier. Even in your mind, things feel more attainable. It allows your body to have more of a rest period, which you'll need, because if you overdo it this month, you could find yourself hurting maybe a larger area of the body that could force you to rest. So finding those moments and those pockets are really important, because Mars will then move into Capricorn. And then we're going to start to have, we have a new moon in Capricorn. Mercury will then enter Capricorn as well. And then, we'll still have like almost a week. And then we go into Aquarius season, where then Venus will move into Capricorn. So then we'll have so much in Capricorn and so much to work with, but it will feel this season is a great transition into, and there will be physical, mental work to do, obviously, but you don't want to leave it to press yourself to the end. So do little by little, but then like you can really put your head down and put the action in towards the end of the season into Aquarius season. That's where you just like have and remind yourself that this is where the important threshold is. And notice where you've given yourself a threshold to go through, and how far that is, and what that looks like, and what it feels like. Because, and I pause for a moment because there's a lot to process here. It's more use of what you've been revealed to. And how the top is very much a theme from the 10 to the 6 of Pentacles. Like, that's what you're going for, but that's what you've been allowing. And the quicker you shift that mentally and internally and put it into action externally, like, things will shift. And for a lot of you, you may even shift jobs, career, or just career shifts may happen, because you're letting, and this is good because we're a couple months away from Pisces season, and that season already I can feel coming, especially in this reading. So you'll get a chance to think more and intellectualize more during Aquarius season. This season wants you to do and act upon even the simplest realizations, because there's no need to go even more into them. It's time to bring them about. Maybe for a lot of you, starting something new, a new creative project that you've been wanting to. And that is where resistance can come in, but that's where you break free. freedom in the mind to roam and wander, but that may bring about travel as well. Because something about that is shifting you spiritually, which is going to connect you physically. And it's not something you don't know. It's just the connection that needs to happen. And you will be better for it. We'll see you next month.